of Recorded Books presents Who Will Cry When You Die? By Robin Sharma. Read by Adam Verner. The tragedy of life is not death, but what we let die inside of us while we live. Norman Cousins. Preface. I honor you for choosing this book. In doing so, you have made the decision to live more deliberately, more joyfully and completely. You have decided to live your life by choice rather than by chance, by design rather than by default. And for this I applaud you. Since writing the 2 previous books in The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari series, I have received countless letters from readers who saw their lives change through the wisdom they discovered. The comments of these men and women inspired and moved me. Many of the notes I received also encouraged me to distill all that I have learned about the art of living into a series of life lessons. And so I set about compiling the best I have to give into a book that I truly believe will help transform your life. The words that follow are heartfelt and written in the high hope that you will not only connect with the wisdom I respectfully offer, but act on it to create lasting improvements in every life area. Through my own trials, I have found that it is not enough to know what to do. We must act on that knowledge in order to have the lives we want. And so, as you listen to this 3rd book in The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari series, I hope you will discover a wealth of wisdom that will enrich the quality of your professional, personal, and spiritual life. Please do write to me, send me an email, or visit with me at one of my seminars to share how you have integrated the lessons in this book into the way you live. I will do my very best to respond to your letters with a personal note. I wish you deep peace, great prosperity, and many happy days spent engaged in a worthy purpose. Robin Sharma.
1. Discover your calling. When I was growing up, my father said something to me I will never forget. Son, when you were born, you cried while the world rejoiced. Live your life in such a way that when you die, the world cries while you rejoice. We live in an age when we have forgotten what life is all about. We can easily put a person on the moon, but we have trouble walking across the street to meet a new neighbor. We can fire a missile across the world with pinpoint accuracy, but we have trouble keeping a date with our children to go to the library. We have an email, fax machines, and digital phones so that we can stay connected, and yet we live in a time where human beings have never been less connected. We have lost touch with our humanity. We have lost touch with our purpose. We have lost sight of the things that matters the most. And so as you start this book, I respectfully ask you, who will cry when you die? How many lives will you touch while you have the privilege to walk this planet? What impact will your life have on the generations that follow you? And what legacy will you leave behind after you have taken your last breath? One of the lessons I have learned in my own life is that if you don't act on life, life has a habit of acting on you. The days slip into weeks, the weeks slip into months, and months slip into years. Pretty soon it's all over and you are left with nothing more than a heart filled with regret over a life half lived. George Bernard Shaw was asked on his death, what would you do if you could live your life over again? He reflected, then replied with a deep sigh, I had liked to be the person I could have been but never was. I have written this book so that this will never happen to you. As a professional speaker, I spent much of my work life delivering keynote address at conferences across North America, flying from city to city, sharing my on leadership in business and in life with many different people. Though they all come from diverse walks of life, their questions invariably center on the same thing these days: how can I find greater meaning in my life? How can I make a lasting contribution through my work? And how can I simplify so that I can enjoy the journey of my life before it is too late? My answer always begins the same way: find your calling. I believe we all have special talents that are just waiting to be engaged in a worthy pursuit. We are all here for some unique purpose, some noble objective that will allow us to manifest our highest human potential, while we at the same time add value to lives around us. Finding your calling doesn't mean you must leave the job you now have. It is simply means you need to bring more of yourself into your work and focus on the things you do the best. It means you have to stop waiting for other people to make the changes you desire and, as Mahatma Gandhi noted, be the change that you wish to see most in your world, and once you do, your life will change. Every day be kind a stranger. On his deathbed, Aldous Huxley reflected on his entire life, learning and then summed it up in seven simple words: let us be kinder to one another. All too often, we believe that in order to live a truly fulfilling life, we must achieve some great act on grand feat that will put us on the front covers of magazines and newspapers. Nothing could be further from the truth. A meaningful life is made up of series of daily acts of decency and kindness, which annually add up to something truly great over the course of lifetime. Everyone who enters your life has a lesson to teach and every story to tell. Every person you pass during the moments that make up your days represents an opportunity to show a little more of the compassion and courtesy that define your humanity. Why not start being more of the person you truly are during your days and doing what you can to enrich the world around you? In my mind, if you make even one person smile during your day or brighten the mood of even one stranger, your day has been a worthwhile one. Kindness, your quit simply is the rent we must pay for the space we occupy on this planet. Become more creative in the ways you show compassion to strangers, paying the role for the person in the car behind you, offering your seat on the subway to someone in need, and being the first to say hello. The great places to start. Recently, I received a letter from a reader of the monk who sold his Ferrari, who lives in Washington state. In it, she wrote, I have a practice of teaching to people who have helped me along my spiritual path. Please accept a enclosed check of $100 with my blessing and gratitude. I quickly the enclosed check of $100 with my blessing and gratitude. I quickly responded to her generous act by sending one of my audio tape program in return, so she received value for the gift she sent me. Her gesture was a great lesson in the importance of giving sincerity and from the heart. Chapter 4: Practice Love. The golden thread of a highly successful and meaningful life is self discipline. Discipline allows you to do all those things you know in your heart you should do but never feel like doing. Without self discipline, you will not clear goals, manage your time effectively, treat people well, persist through the tough times, care for your health, think positive thoughts. I call the habit of self discipline tough love because get tough with yourself is actually a very loving gesture. By being stricter with yourself, you will learn to live life more deliberately on your own terms rather than simply reacting to life the way a leaf floating in the stream drifts according to the flow of the current on a particular day. As I teach one of my seminars, the tougher you are on yourself, the easier life will be on you. The quality of your life ultimately is shaped by the quality of your choices and decisions. Ones that range from the career you choose to pursue to the books you read, the time that you wake up every morning, and the thoughts you think during the hours of your day. You constantly flex your willpower by making those choices that you know are the right ones rather than ones. You take back control of your life. Effective, fulfilled people do not spend their time doing what is most convenient and comfortable. They have the courage to listen to their hearts and to do the wise thing. This habit is what makes them great. The successful person has a habit of doing the things failure don't like to do. Remarked easiest and thinker em they don't like doing either necessarily, but their disliking is subordinated to the strength of their purpose. The 19th century English writer Thomas Henry Huxley wrote at the similar conclusion: perhaps the most valuable result of education is the ability to make you to do the thing you have to do when it ought to be done, whether you like it or not. And Aristotle made this point wisdom in 8 and a half. Whatever we learn to do, we learn by actually doing it. Men come to builders, for instance, by building, and harp players by playing the harp. In the same way, by doing just acts, come to be blessed by doing self-controlled acts. We come to be self-controlled and by doing brave acts. We come to be brave. Chapter 5. Keep journal. Maintaining a daily journal is one of the best personal growth initiatives you will ever take. Writing down your daily experiences along with the lessons you have drawn from them will make you wiser with each passing day. It will develop self awareness and make fewer mistakes, and the journal will help clarify your intentions so that you remain focused on things that truly count. Writing in a journal offers you the opportunity to have regular one-on-one conversations with yourself. Forces you to do some deep thinking in a world where deep thinking is a thing of the past. It will also make you a clearer thinker and help you live in a more intentional and enlightened way. In addition, it provides a central place where you can record your insights on important issues. Note key success strategies that have worked for you and commit to all those things you know are important to achieve for a high commit to all those things you are important to achieve for a high quality professional, personal and spiritual life. And your life personal journal gives you a private place to flex your imagination and define your dreams. Journal is not a diary. A diary is a place where you record events, while a journal is a place where you analyze and evaluate them. Keeping a journal encourages you to consider what you do, why you do it, and what you have learned from all you have done. And writing in a journal promotes personal growth and wisdom by giving you a forum to study, live, you for greater success in your future. Medical researchers have even found that writing in a private journal for as little time as 15 minutes a day can improve health, functioning of your immune system, and your overall attitude. Remember, if your life is worth thinking about, it is worth writing about. Chapter 6. Develop an honesty philosophy. We live in a world of broken promises. We live in a time when people treat their words lightly. We tell a friend we will call her next week for a lunch, knowing full well we do not have the time to do so. We promise a coworker we will bring in that new book we love so much, knowing full well that we never lend out our books. And we promise ourselves this will be the year get back into shape, simplify our and have more fun without any real intention of making the deep life changes necessary to achieve these goals. Saying things we don't really mean because habit when we practice it long enough. The real problem is that when you don't keep your word, you lose credibility. When you lose credibility, you break the bonds of trust. And breaking the bonds of ultimately to a string of broken relationships. To develop an honesty philosophy, began to monitor how many small untrust you tell over the course of a week. Go on what I call a truth fast for the next 7 days to be completely honest in all your deadlines with others and with yourselves. Every time you fail to do the right thing, the habit of doing the wrong thing. Every time you do not tell the truth, you feed the habit of being untruthful. When you promise someone you will do something, do it. Be a person of your word rather than being all talk and no action. As Mother Teresa said, there should be less talk. A preaching point does not meeting point. What do you do then? Take a broom and clean someone's house. That says enough. 7. Honor your past. Every second you dwell on the past, you steal from the future. Every minute you spend focusing on your problems, you take away from finding your solutions. And thinking about all those things that you wish never happened to you is actually blocking all the things you want to happen from entering into your life. Given the timeless truth that holds that you become what you think about all day long. It makes no sense to worry about past events or mistakes unless you want to experience them for a second time. Instead, use the lessons you have learned from your past to rise to a whole new level of awareness and enlightenment. Life's greatest setbacks reveal life's biggest opportunities. As the ancient thinker Euripides noted, there is in the worst of fortune the best chances for a happy change. If you have suffered more than your fair share of difficulties in life, perhaps you are being prepared to serve some greater purpose that will require you to be equipped with the wisdom you have acquired through your trials. Use these life lessons to fuel your future growth. Remember, happy people have often experienced as much adversity as are unhappy. What sets them apart is that they have the good sense to manage their memories in a way that enriches their lives. And understand that if you have failed more than others, there is a very good chance you are living more completely than others. Those who take more chances and dare to be more and do more than others will naturally experience more failures. But personally, I would rather have the bravery to try something and then fail than never to have tried at it all. I would much prefer spending the rest of my days expending my human frontiers and trying to make the seemingly impossible probably than life a life of comfort, security, and mediocrity. That's the essence of true life success, as Herodotus noted. It is better by noble boldness to run the risk of being subject to half of the evil we anticipate than to remain in cowardly listenless for fear of what may happen. Or, as Booker T. Washington said, I have learned that success is to be measured not so much by the that one has reached in life as by the obstacle he has overcome while trying to succeed. Chapter 8. Start your day well. The way you begin your day determines the way you will live your day. I call the first 30 minutes after you wake up Cantina, since they are truly the most valuable moments of your day and have a profound influence of the quality of every minute that follows. If you have the wisdom and self to ensure that during this key period you think only the purest of thoughts and take the finest of actions, you will know that your day will unfold in the most marvelous ways. Recently, I took my two young children to see the thrilling IMAX movie Everest. Aside from the breathtaking imaginary and the powerful acts of heroism portrayed, there was one point that stayed with me in order for the mountain climbers to scale the summit. It was essential for them to have a good base camp. It was impossible for them to get to the top without that camp at the bottom that offered them. a sanctuary for rest, renewal, and replenishing. Once they reach Camp 2, they then return to the base for a few weeks to recharge their batteries. On reaching Camp 3, they hastily retreated to base camp to prepare for the trek to Camp 4. And on reaching Camp 4, they again went back down the mountain to base camp before making their final push for the summit. In the same way, I think that every one of us, in order to reach our personal summits and master the daily challenges of our own lives, needs to revisit our base camps during the Platinum 30. We need to go to a place where we can connect to our life's missions, renew ourselves, and refocus on the things that matter most. In my own life, I have developed a very effective morning ritual that constantly gets off a joyful, peaceful start. After waking, I head down to my personal sanctuary, a little space I have created for myself where I can practice my renewal activities without being disturbed. I spend about 15 minutes in silent contemplation, focusing on all the good things in my life and envisioning the day that I expect is about to unfold. Next, I pick up a book from wisdom literature, one rich with those timeless truths of successful living that are so easy to forget in this fast-paced times we live in. Example, in Meditation by the Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius, the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin, and Walden by Henry David Thoreau. The lessons in this work center me on things that truly count and help launch the day on the right footing. And the wisdom I read during that precious early morning period infuses and enlightens every remaining minutes of my day. So start your day well, you will never be the same. Chapter 9. Learn to say no gracefully. It is easy to say yes to every request on your time when the priorities of your life are unclear, when your days are not guided by a rich and inspiring vision for your future, a clear image of an end result that will help you act more intentionally. It is hard for agendas of those around you to dictate your actions. As I wrote in Leadership Wisdom from Monk who sold his Ferrari, if your priorities don't get scheduled into your plan, other people's priorities will get put into your plan. The solution is to be clear about your life's highest objectives and to learn to say no with grace. The Chinese sage Chong Tus told the story of a man who forged sword for Maharaja even at the age of 90. His work was carried out with exceptional precision and ability. No matter how rushed he was, he never made even the slightest slip. One day, Maharaja asked the old man, "Is this a natural talent or is there special technique that you use to create your remarkable results?" "It is concentrations on the essentials," replied the sword crafter. "I took to forging swords when I was 21 years old. I did not care about anything else. If it was not a sword, I did not look at it or pay any attention to it. Forging swords becomes my passion and my purpose. I took all the energy that I did not give in other directions and put it in the direction of my art. This is the secret to my mastery." The most effective people concentrate on their areas of excellence, that is, on the things they do best and on those high impact activities that will advance their life work. In being so consumed by the important things, they find it easy to say no to the less than worthy distractions that clamor for their attention. Michael Jordan, the best basketball player in the game's history, did not negotiate his contracts, design his uniforms, and prepare his travel schedules. He focused his time and energies on what he did best, playing basketball, and delegated everything else to his handlers. Jay's great Louis Armstrong did not spend his time selling tickets to his shows and setting up chairs for the audience. He concentrated on his points of brilliance, playing the trumpet, learning to say no to the non-essential, will give you more time to devote to the things that have the power to truly improve the way you live and help you to leave the legacy you know in your heart you are destined to leave.